Addiction is a phenomenon that everyone experiences, even if they don't always recognize it. From the perspective of pure consciousness, we can see it as an energetic loop between what we feel inside and what we seek outside. It is not weakness. It is not a fault. It is a natural part of the human experience, born from the desire for balance and relief. At its core, the brain and body respond to tension, emptiness, stress, or dissatisfaction by seeking quick relief. This relief can come in many forms: substances like sugar, alcohol, or drugs, or behaviors like running, exercise, discipline, or control over food. All of these mechanisms share the same foundation. The brain learns that something changes its internal state and wants it again and again. From a scientific perspective, reward areas in the brain are activated, dopamine pathways that strengthen memory, motivation, and repeated patterns. But from the perspective of consciousness, we can see it differently. The body and mind are seeking safety and a sense of fulfillment. Where inner balance is missing, addiction arises. Some people attach themselves to things that are socially seen as harmful: smoking, alcohol, sweets. Others attach themselves to things socially seen as positive: sports, discipline, work, learning. In both cases, it is the desire for stability and a sense of control. In the first case, relief is short-lived, and the body demands more. In the second case, the body and consciousness find similar energetic satisfaction through healthier, more creative forms. Addiction develops quickly. The brain immediately remembers the feeling of relief and begins seeking the patterns that lead to it. This is why an addiction can appear in days or weeks, even faster if the body is highly sensitive or stressed. From the perspective of pure consciousness, it is important to see where addiction originates. It is not something that happened to a person, but a response of the system seeking balance and relief, where it senses a lack. And when this is understood, addiction is no longer just a problem. It becomes a signal that says, here is something I need to feel within. Consciousness can act as a quiet navigator, not by forcing a person to stop, but by revealing the mechanism at work. When a person sees that the body is seeking relief, that the brain responds through dopamine patterns, that emotions are energies that want to be felt, clarity begins to appear. Clarity that allows freedom of choice. Not from willpower, not from pressure, but from understanding. This perspective applies equally to all forms of addiction, whether it is directed at something socially considered negative or positive. The key is not to fight addiction, but to understand its origin, mechanism, and the energy it carries. When a person understands this, the relationship to the addiction begins to change. It no longer creates shame, fear, or guilt. It becomes information, a light pointing toward inner balance. Partial overcoming or transformation of the pattern is not an act of will alone. It is the connection of consciousness with the body. When a person sees that seeking relief is natural and that brain patterns are merely reactions, they can make a step toward what the body and soul truly need: inner calm, a sense of fulfillment, and balance. From the perspective of pure consciousness, addiction is a mirror of inner state, a mechanism that can be observed and felt. When a person learns to read this mirror, they stop being a slave to patterns. Consciousness does not demand struggle, resistance, or control. It only offers the mirror and understanding. In this way, addiction becomes not a punishment, but a teacher. It teaches a person how to feel, how to understand, how to be present, and how to respond consciously instead of being led by a pattern formed from a lack of balance. And this is the power that anyone can discover when they look at their experience of addiction through the lens of pure consciousness, without blame, without judgment, only with a mirror of truth and awareness.